Right. So good morning to everyone. I think we must begin on time. I have a hope that some of our audience might grow a little bit as we go, but even if they choose to join later and watch the recording, that's also fine. So good morning and welcome to our multi-project information exchange. The idea of this exchange was that the Erasmus Days, which are celebrated every October, and today is one of the 3 days on which they are being celebrated. And so we thought we would bring together a group of Erasmus-funded projects. And we have, as our presenters and panelists today, the coordinators of 5 projects funded by Erasmus+. And I would begin by introducing the coordinators and their project. So the first project which we'll present is the Project Fountain, and the coordinator is Gutila Jayasinghe from University of Ruhuna. And also from University of Ruhuna, we have another coordinator who is Professor Champa Navaratne. And if you can switch on your video for a little bit, Champa, that would be great. Then we can see you. Also from the University of Ruhuna. She'll be presenting a little later. And then from another project is Microbe, which is coordinated by Artūras Kakauskas from the Vilnius Gediminas Technical University in Lithuania. Are you available in video, Artūras? Maybe you can switch it on.
Yes, one second.
Oh, thank you.
I already available.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Artūras. And then another project is SECRA, which is led by Mid Sweden University, and we have 2 representatives, Evie Pedrido and Jürgen Sparf. Good morning to you both. And finally, we have we also have the Project Brite, which is led by Champa Navaratne from the University of Ruhuna in Sri Lanka, who is already on the screen. And finally, a project called Benedict, which I coordinate, and I'm Emlyn Witt from the Tallinn University of Technology. So these are our panelists. And to kick us off, I would ask Gutila Jayasinghe to introduce the first of these projects, which is the youngest. It's just about to kick off. And if you would go ahead and tell us all about Fountain. Thank you, Gutila.
Okay, good morning, and thank you very much, Professor Emlyn, for the great introduction, and thank you all. And this is the project we got very recently, and we are going to kick off that in coming November. So that is the Fountain. So this is the Fostering Sustainable University Industry Techno Entrepreneurial Collaboration and Innovation in Asian Universities. So as you all know, when it comes to these Asian universities, they are in entrepreneurship and the graduates employability, and they are industry partnerships not that much promising. Therefore, the main aim of this one to increase the innovation and the entrepreneurial ability of these higher education institutes by creating their collaborative efforts with all these stakeholders. So we have a plan during this project to develop a university industry digital transformation platform, that is to get all these stakeholders and the Asian countries, and as well as putting these European best practices into develop this one, and innovation and technology management to develop this curriculum development and different models and the modules. So those are the plans and the aims. So it will definitely address these strategic university industry partnerships, specifically Asian universities, in terms of student employability. As I mentioned earlier, the employability, globally employable graduates, and using this blended learning. Now, after this pandemic and all that, so we are using most of the cases online rather than on-site. And then the curriculum development. So here, main objective is to get these European best practices and put in that their industrial partners, and then getting the techno-entrepreneurial skills. So that is really important in next generations to come. And we know that innovation and invention are not that much promising in the Asian partners, and getting their multidisciplinary actions together to joint collaborative researchers. So these are the partners from Sri Lanka. So we are leading from University of Ruhuna, and then Peradeniya, University of Peradeniya, and the Sabaragamuwa University, and the Rajarata University. And the Horizon College of Business and Technology, that is a private university. Above mentioned 4 universities are the state universities. And our European partners, the Tallinn University from Estonia, and Vilnius Gediminas Technical University from the Lithuania, and Mid Sweden University. And Thailand, we have Naresuan University and Chiang Mai University. Those are the partners there. So our project flow, the Fountain Project flow, that is basically identify and formulate the key factors that are going to enable for this invention and innovation between universities and industries. And then we are planning to develop a strong and robust university industry digital transformation platform. In that platform, we are going to connect all our partners with the university, and as well as these state sectors as well. And very specifically, we are going to develop a curriculum module for this university industry collaboration. So in this case, we are going to develop a certificate course, and as well as some diploma levels. So therefore, we can give much more in-depth collaborations with these graduates as well. And then we are going to have a center of excellence for this agro industry. So therefore, there we are going to get this, as I mentioned, all these collaborative stakeholders and making a link with them. So get much more involvement of the industries to this with these counterpartners as well. So very simply, we have several work packages. First one is the project management. All these project management, their intention and financial things will be doing with that one. That is a mandatory one. And then we are going to have a comprehensive gap analysis, need analysis, and identify and synthesize the key factors that will going to improve the collaborative inventions and innovations between industrial partners and the universities. And then important part is the university industry digital transformation platform. In that case, we can make a network and put in all the members together, and current content and the state of art is that digital transformation. And then entrepreneurial curricula modules development. Here we are going to have very specific, after getting all these European best practices put into that, and develop this innovation and invention curriculum modules. So in that case, we are going to develop with all these university members. So we have their specialty. Based on that, we are going to develop curriculum modules to enhance this university industry partnership as well. And then we are going to have this center of excellence, because that we don't have the university industry going together, each people. So therefore, here we are trying to, with the objective, to trying to get them in a center of excellence and inviting these industries or universities and supporting and giving these expert knowledge with the help of our European partners as well. And another mandatory one is the quality assurance. So therefore, in that case, as usually we are doing, so making quality councils and assessment, and making the good quality output as well. And final one is dissemination and exploitation. So that is important. All these things we should disseminate as much as possible to the wider population, and then trainings, and we are going to have some sort of exhibitions, industrial patenting writings and all that. So this is the very brief introduction about this project, and thank you very much for your all years collaboration and your support to make this a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kotila. It was really helpful, and as I mentioned, this is this particular project hasn't yet kicked off, so it's also very helpful for us to recap on its main points. Moving on, I would now invite Artūras Kaklauskas to say a few words about the microbe project.
Hello for everybody. This is a European, only European project. You can see title, Integrating Education with Human Behavior Relevant to Influence of Coronavirus and Negative Emotions in Built Environment. There are keywords coronavirus, negative emotions, and cities or built environment. Three main keywords. And the wider objective is to upgrade the curricula with 3 new harmonized multidisciplinary personalized MOOC modules. And the following 3 main keywords: coronavirus, negative emotions in a built environment, to increase cooperation for innovation and strategic partnership for higher education. We have also few specific objectives. One is to develop 3 new multidisciplinary, personalized, recognized, and certified MOOCs modules on consumer behavior change to relative to microbe educations, and develop worldwide innovative microbe systems. Is video neural analytics included, web-based on opinion analytics, recommender system for the protection against COVID-19 and depression reduction in built environment. And the final is strengthen education and scientific networking among European Union universities in microbe education. As I said, first is to develop the personalized MOOC related with coronavirus and negative emotions in cities. There are a lot of specific tasks. If you're interested, I can send for you this presentation. Next is developing massive open online courses and the system. You can see we have some infrastructure in Vilnius, and we're improving this infrastructure everywhere. We have different subsystems, Vilnius happiness systems, personalization, analyzing different data during this project, emotional states, affective use, physiological state, weather conditions, pollutions, and we're measuring everything by the sensors. We have different sensors real time, and collecting all of this data and developing different subsystems. Emlyn, you gave us 5 minutes. As I said, there are 2 main things: developing MOOCs, intelligent MOOCs, and developing systems in order to decrease the influence of COVID-19 and depressions, because currently everywhere there are a lot of depression and negative emotions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Artūras. This was indeed an interesting insight to microbe. If I can now invite both Evie and Jörgen from Mid Sweden University to introduce SECRAM.
Absolutely. Just give me 1 second to share the screen. Here we go. Looking good, Emlyn?
Looking perfect as always, Jürgen.
Thank you so much, Emlyn, and thank you for inviting us to this project really in the last minute. So we really appreciate that. And also hello to everybody. We have met several of you in previous projects, so it's great to reconnect to old acquaintances and friends, and also to say hi to new ones. This project is really an extension of 2 previous projects that I know several of you have been involved with, namely the projects Android and then later on Ascent. So this came out of this project, and it's called Strengthening University Enterprise Collaboration for Resilient Communities in Asia, and the acronym is SECRA. And as you can already see, there are strong connections to the previous, the first project that Gutinga presented, the Fountain project that we are also part of. So thank you very much for inviting us to that. I will just give a brief overview of this project. The background is, apart from the history of projects, the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, and if you remember that framework, it has targets and goals and objectives and tasks. And then in the bottom, there are 4 priorities. And we connect this mostly to the 4th and last priority, namely to enhance disaster preparedness for effective response and to build back better in recovery, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. So we're moving in that field of topic. So really university enterprise in disaster resilience. And we know that UECs, University Enterprise Collaborations, are very beneficial to both sides, both the academia and to different enterprises. But we don't know very much how they operate and work in the area of disaster resilience and recovery. And I should also point out that by enterprise, we refer to both private enterprises, companies, businesses, the industry, but also to governmental agencies and other organizations. The aim of this project is to enhance disaster resilience in communities in Asia by promoting and improving university enterprise collaboration. Pretty straightforward, and I will show you the partners and the consortium shortly, so you know where we are actually trying to do this and achieve this. We have organized the work in 5 substantive work packages. So we have the administrative work packages on the side, of course, but these are the topical ones. The 2 first ones are really sort of getting a grip of what is going on and trying to improve that field. So mapping the collaborative landscape, we have finished that work package. We did document analysis, literature review. We have conducted social network analysis among academic staff and to see how they are connected to different enterprises. And we have run a couple of surveys on that. We did this in the university partners, with the university partners, so with different leadership levels and with university staff, and also we involved enterprise partners in the surveys. And we have some results to present on that if you're interested further on. They're also available on our website, if not already, so shortly. The next work package is institutional landscape optimization. And so this was a way to build a relational framework for UEC, which is almost done. We have a final draft. We are still, polishing a bit. And this will then be communicated and transformed into policy briefs that we have dialogues around when we have the actual physical meetings. Because this project started in 2020, and because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have not been able to meet physically, unfortunately, in this project. And one of the main things above having great project meetings is, of course, to have those policy dialogues with local leadership, both on the political side, but also with university leadership. So we're looking forward to do that in 23 and hopefully 24. The third work package is a community of practice. So very, tying it also to to the fountain presentation, we're trying to build a community of practice, which is really a group of people, fairly large in this case, who come together around a particular interest or work that they are doing and want to achieve something and help each other, support each other, and provide knowledge exchange, experience exchange. So we run a series of training sessions on that and started an online platform, and we decided to have it on Moodle for easy access to everybody. And the next one is innovation and enterprise, and that is something that we want to encourage and even improve. And we know that many Asian partners are really doing a fantastic job in this field, but we still have it because we think you can never stop doing that. So we have a series of startup labs. We have had workshops and seminars in this field, also with external partners, and we will have engagement days and training sessions. And then finally, the last one is University Enterprise Collaboration Compass, which is an existing model that we are now launching more broadly through this project. And that compass is a way to self-assess and to monitor how you're doing in UECs, mainly on a program level. So let's say a master's program want to monitor how they are doing, what they are doing, and how they can develop their university enterprise collaboration. So this is a digital tool that we also put on the Moodle platform, of course. And before I leave this slide, I should also say that we're looking forward to the fountain work packages. For instance, the research link and also the curricular development. I'm sure we can find some great synergies there to put things on our different platforms. So this is the consortium. We operate with partners in the Philippines, in Sri Lanka and Thailand, 3 partner universities in each country. And then we are also 4 European partners in this project. But mainly it's about this. It's working with great people and knowledgeable experts across Europe and Asia. And these are just a few of the project members. As of today, I looked, we are, I think, 43 participants in this project. So that's really fantastic. And yeah, please keep in touch. There's the website and a Twitter handle, and also you can always email Evin myself on secra@mian.se. Thank you very much.
Thank you both for a very interesting introduction to SACRA. So at this point, I would ask Champa to tell us about her project, Brite. Thank you, Champa.
Yeah, thank you, Emlyn. Thank you very much for give me a minute to share my presentation. PowerPoint Live. Browsing my computer. Yeah. Apa ba?
Yes, we can see it perfectly now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for your patience, and thank you very much, Emlyn, for giving us this opportunity and organizing such a nice work here. Okay, this is about Brite, building resilience in tropical agroecosystems. Then I find presentation mode. Okay, the aim of the Brite project is to enhance of competencies and skills management, governance, and innovation capacities of partners of higher education institutions, and tackle the challenges associated with agro-based ecological resilience to disasters. And our plan was to develop development of joint curricular modules on building resilience in tropical agroecosystems, in Sri Lankan universities and increase the educated people in the agro-based ecological resilience and allied sectors. So our partners are, there are 5 Sri Lankan universities and 4 European universities. Sri Lankan universities are Rohuna, leading partner, and University of Colombo, University of Moratuwa, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura, and Sabragamo University of Sri Lanka. Then as EU partners, we have Tallinn University of Technology Estonia and Vilnius Gediminas Technical University Lithuania. When we started this project, actually UK universities are also part of EU. So we have 2 UK universities also, University of Huddersfield and University of Central Lancashire. Altogether, our consortium is 9 universities. And our project flow, what we have done is understand the knowledge gaps in ecosystem-based resilience, then develop a joint innovative and adaptive MSc curricula on tropical agroecosystem-based resilience and develop a smart agroecosystem-based resilience in center. The intellectual outputs were comprehensive survey framework and joint curriculum development and implement an online student service platform for teaching, learning, research and development. So this is the SAS center. Actually, we have developed it for 3 levels: student level subsystem, that is micro, then organizational level subsystem meso, and societal level subsystem macro. Then we have developed 16 modules under this project. That is a joint curriculum. All 9 universities in the consortium worked for this one. And these are the, you can see in first column, what are the modules we have developed and what are the universities involved with it, as well as that exit routes. There are 4 exit routes: postgraduate certificate, postgraduate diploma, master's degree 1 year, and master's degree 2 years. So in that way, again, we have had that Bloom taxonomy levels also there for each subject, as well as PO mapping also there. Program objectives mapping also there. And some are only for 6 months. That means certificate courses are for 6 months and MS is for 1 year and 2 years. In that way, we have developed 16 modules here. You can see all 16 modules. And that optional modules also, we have offered 4 optional modules, including those 16 modules actually. They are for certificate courses, no optional. For diploma course, 1 optional course, and 1 year MSc 2 optional, and 2 MSc 4 optional courses. And our exit routes are according to Sri Lankan quality framework guidelines, SLQF 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is the Bloom taxonomy we use, and our program objectives are also listed out here, about 9 program objectives. And finally, we are planning to have our BRITEC conference. It will be scheduled to have in March 15 to 16th in 2023. We have sub-themes there, about 8 sub-themes. You all are welcome for submit your abstracts for that one. We cordially invite you all to submit your abstracts there. And we have about 7 keynote speakers for the symposium. This is a flyer for the symposium. So at this moment, we have already this is the last one. We have already come up with our all the objectives fulfillment actually. So only thing is now our curricula is the approval process. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Champa. And if you would stop sharing your screen, then I
Sure,
will.
sure.
I will
Stop
start
sharing.
loading my.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No problem. I also
huh?
have a change in operating system, so my loading is going to be also, it might take a few more seconds than it should. Thank you. Now I've got it clear. Right. So from my side, I would like to introduce the project called Benedict, which is the BIM-enabled learning environment for digital construction. It has a slightly different background to the other projects. The other projects have a very strong disaster resilience. Okay, sorry about that. The other projects have a strong disaster resilience backstory. With the Benedict project, it's in a sense, it's also a disaster backstory, which is the disastrous state of the construction industry and trying to develop a positive future for the construction industry on the basis of digitalization. And a central feature of the digitalization of the construction industry is something called building information modeling, or BIM. And BIM is about digitally representing all building-related information. This is from the first scratch of a pencil on paper, or a digital one these days, in design, right through the life of the building, through construction, through operation, all the way to the end of demolition. And this is the digital representation through life is becoming more and more important as we go through to ideas of circular economy and so forth. So this is, we can also think of building information modeling and the BIM models themselves as part of the digital twins for the built environment. It's the building information models they begin life before the building is actually realized, so that it's not quite a digital twin in that sense, but they become the basis for the digital twins of buildings once the buildings exist. So from an educational perspective, the digitalization of construction imposes two main challenges. Well, we can think of them as short-term challenges where, of course, people in the construction industry need new skills, but also long-term challenges in terms of the total reorganization of the construction industry, which it comes part and parcel with the digitalization of the industry. So this is how companies work together, how different disciplines collaborate and develop new ways of working which embrace a digital culture. And this brings a lot of educational opportunities. We can use these BIM models for visualization for our students. We can also take them from the field, and it's a very fast way of introducing real project data from real construction projects into the learning environment. And it relates to, or it reflects, these ideas of digital twins and the metaverse, where perhaps we can learn in the virtual environment, which relates to real projects, and maybe also some projects which we can't yet build. So this is into the future. Now, the term that we use in this project is BIM-enabled learning, and this comes from some ideas which emerged about 10 years ago now, and that was that with the construction industry shifting to using BIM, then firstly, there would be stages of education. Firstly, BIM aware, so that everyone understands what BIM is. Then BIM focused, to provide the students with things like skills for modeling and creating models as part of the design and the construction of buildings, and also the operation and demolition of buildings. And then a final stage, which is, once we have these models, how can we best use them for educational and training purposes? And it's on this level that we are focused with the Benedict project. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to essentially make a prototype BIM-enabled learning environment, which explores the possibilities of using these models for, in our case, largely engineering and construction related education. We have a very small strategic partnership project. It only involves 3 universities, ourselves, Tallinn University of Technology, also Tampere, and the university in Finland, and the University of Bologna from Italy. And the project logic is very straightforward. We have the development of this prototype BIM-enabled learning environment, then creating some prototype or pilot content for the BIM-enabled learning environment, and then to enable or train people to use this environment. And in strategic partnership projects, we don't, the work is broken down into intellectual outputs rather than work packages. And the intellectual outputs follow these steps. So we have, in developing the BIM-enabled learning environment, we have the specification of requirements and the development of the prototype. And then for the content creation, some learning resources and some pilot modules. And finally, for enabling people to use it, then we have user guidance and a system to expand use. And through the project, as with any Erasmus Plus funded project, we have various events to disseminate our findings, and also a training event right at the end of the project, which is aimed at enabling the use of the BIM-enabled learning environment. So that is an overview of Benedict, and I stop sharing. Sorry, one moment. And having introduced all 5 of the projects, then we thought that it would be a good idea to have a short discussion with our remaining 15 or 20 minutes with the idea of celebrating the Erasmus program, since this is an Erasmus Days event, to discuss amongst the panel, and of course, if there are any questions from outside the panel, from any guests in the audience, what the benefits and challenges of the Erasmus Plus program have been for our project. So what I would start with is maybe since Champa is on our screen in front of us, perhaps you would kick us off. What, from your perspective, what do you find to be the greatest benefit of the Erasmus program for your university and your network, and the topic that your project Brite is addressing?
Thank you, Emlyn. Yes. Excuse me, please. Could you please, can you ask it again?
Certainly. The benefit. What do you find to be the biggest benefit of Erasmus, the Erasmus program?
Yes. Without Erasmus Plus program, we couldn't get European experience to our curricula. And that is the biggest thing. And our networking with European universities is a great advantage for Sri Lankan universities, as well as even Sri Lankan universities. We got together because of Erasmus Plus, this program, as well as we got a lot of good practices from EU as well as from UK. So those are the most important benefits we have received actually so far, as well as we hope to develop these kind of programs in future too, in collaboration with EU universities and all other Asian partners also. Here only Sri Lanka partners are there. Now in future, Fountain is one of these. Actually, we have another country partners also there. Fountain is also from Ruhuna. So likewise, we would like to join all Asian, European and other countries all together through Erasmus Plus programs. Okay, thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Champa. To follow on from that, I would, if I can single you out, Evie, to perhaps you would comment from a Mid-Sweden University perspective, as Champa has commented from a European Union partner country perspective. Perhaps you could say a few things from the benefits of Erasmus Plus program from a European member country perspective.
Thanks, Emlyn. And again, very nice to see you again. I will say that this is very much a two-way affair. I find it fascinating how the European partners benefit from the knowledge, the vast amount of knowledge that exists in Asian countries and how things are done. And it gives us an amazing perspective that we wouldn't otherwise have if we didn't have such close collaboration with amazing people in these universities. I'm really, sometimes the professionalism and the way of doing things puts us to shame, I must admit. So in that respect, it's fantastic for us as well. Another layer for us, and I think Jürgen can also perhaps agree, perhaps doesn't. Because we're social scientists, we are all these programs and projects that are interdisciplinary. So for us, it's also another way to get outside our comfort zone and deal with things that we wouldn't otherwise be dealing with. So it's to sum it all up, it's a fantastic experience for us.
Excellent. I think also it would be interesting to hear from Guttila in terms of his is the newest project on the block, and maybe you could move us towards the challenges aspect of Erasmus Plus funding. But what did you find in order to create the successful proposal on Fountain? What were the aspects which you felt were being very strongly pushed by the Erasmus Plus program that if you hadn't been seeking funding, perhaps would have been not so focused upon?
Yeah, because now, as you know, now we've been engaging in, from Prof. Veera and Prof. Champa, starting this from maybe 2, 3, 4 years back. So in that case, we didn't have much more, collaboration or connection with these European members, and as well as a lot of these funding resources. And when it comes to this, our part of the world, the funding and this expert knowledge are really rare. So previously we had an experience to take part in a lot of Erasmus projects, and some are the sandpit proposals on that one. So challenges that we had a real great amount of challenges, how to get these expert people and how to improve our capacity building and how to get these entrepreneurial activities and how to develop our curriculum modules and how to develop these centers with these IoT bases and then effective tutoring and all that. So the very big asset for us was all these members who give us their expert knowledge and hand to improve our intellectual capacity and the innovation abilities, and as well as we get the training and giving these exchange programs, all that. So basically, with this situation of the South Asian countries, the funding is very minimum. So in this case, when we are writing together, we had a good teamwork with this Erasmus that made by the Erasmus this project, because we got different abilities and different level of people in different part of the world, and not only Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bangladesh. So they are really cooperative. They have such good knowledge and working capacities and their levels. And specifically when it comes to our universities, our state-funded universities, they don't fund in much for this research. So now we developing the research culture and improving the intellectual. We are sending them to these European countries and having exchange. That is enormous. That is not only this project, the sustainability plan. It is improving day by day, and a lot of networking we are undertaking. And specifically, this fountain is focused on, because now there are academic teaching universities, research universities, and the entrepreneurial universities. Now we have teaching universities. Research is not that much. Now we are trying to improve that, enhance that into the entrepreneurial universities as well. In that case, we need to get this industry in. So industry will believe us if we have this European EU grant. So they have the recognition. So that is a very good thing, the European Union recognition on these things. So here we are going to improve these industrial training, you name it, that might be internships. So developing this curriculum, that was a real fun, great stuff. And the Brite one, we developed the SAR Center. So in that case, that is blended learning. Then we are connecting with the MOOCs, so that the MOOC came from the Professor Alturas, the BEC project. So that is really important. And we went three MOOCs modules as well. So without this funding, those are miracles. So that is the teamwork together, each achieve more. So therefore, the challenges we are overcoming, because state funding is not there. If we rely on the state funding, we cannot do. We had a lot of people, PhDs, and the exchange programs, secondment. This is a lot for us, and we are expecting in our future activities and future endeavors as well.
Thank you. That was really comprehensive. Maybe I could invite Artūras Karklauskas to comment from the European Union side about some of the challenges that the Erasmus Plus funded projects face or have faced in recent years. In your view, what are the main challenges for Erasmus Plus funded projects?
I think the main challenges is a big family, because if we analyze our own departments, we have only a few professors, few researchers. It is very difficult to do something new with few people. And also we have different cultures, different understandings, everything is different. And in this case, during Erasmus projects, we can we can develop in synergy much efficiently new products, new developments. And I think if a few years ago developing by self, each country developing by self something, now we can develop the best professor to develop joint strategy, joint products, joint services.
This is really true. Thank you, Doris. Coming to Jürgen, you mentioned in your presentation that SECRA project hasn't yet managed to hold policy dialogues as a result of COVID and so forth. How big a challenge, and were there any advantages or somehow silver linings that came from the cloud of COVID during SECRA?
Yeah, that is a big dark cloud, of course. At the same time, COVID has taught us how extremely interlinked we are around the world. So it really highlights that point if we were not aware enough already. I would say that, of course, not being able to meet is very negative to the project, because of course you can meet like this and that's nice. And we have also learned how to use these digital tools much more efficient throughout the pandemic. But you can only do so much in these meetings. And we know that the informal interaction and just coming together and actually meet in a physical space is so much more valuable. It gives more effect, we think. So that's the backside, and it's pretty obvious to everybody, I think. We hope there is a silver lining, because we are now sending in application for extension of the project for 6 months. So we will actually be able to run these policy dialogues and the training sessions, and most importantly also to meet in the project. So we hope there is one. We know that other projects, maybe some of these here, have already received an extension of 6 months. So, and we have talked to our project officer, so it should be okay, we hope. I guess the silver lining in that lies in, first, the possibility to actually get an extension because of the pandemic, but also that it gives us a little bit more time to implement some of the activities that we are doing. So I guess that's what comes to mind when you ask me about the pandemic.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jürgen. Now I would open the floor to our, we have a few members in the audience who haven't presented, and I would, we are ready to answer any questions, or if you have any comments about any one or more of the projects, please feel absolutely free to give your comments. In the event that we don't have a direct comment, then maybe I could invite Professor Vera to say a couple of words from his perspective, because he's been associated with university collaboration for many years, often between Europe and Sri Lanka. And how do you find things are developing in these relationships and cooperations and collaborations?
Thank you, Emlyn, for giving this opportunity. I think this is a very nice opportunity as Sri Lankans and as the third world countries that need a lot of research inputs. I think through this program, I think for the last about 10 years, I think a lot of our universities have benefited much with the knowledge, with the extension programs, with the collaboration, with everything. I think it is a big jump for the universities. One thing is that when our the Asian universities are trying to get into with this collaboration, their ranking is going up. So now I think Sri Lankan universities like the Peradeniya, Ruhuna, Moratuwa, Sabargaon, the university has got a very good opportunity for getting into the web ranking. So that is one of the very important thing for the future program development, future this thing. And at the same time, I think this opening of the MOOC and this online examination methods has given a big revolution to the examination methods in our countries, right? So that we were still Sri Lankan universities are thinking very, I mean, the time-consuming examination methods. So that I think this European Union projects has given very good development in that understanding, so that eye-opening to the lot of administrators that how we can do the examination as well as the how you can use the resources very, I mean, efficiently through this, I mean, the collaborations as well as with this expert knowledge. I think that is, I think, most greatest, I think, opportunity that our universities has got through these Erasmus programs. So that I think it could have been taken maybe 50 years to catch up. Maybe within now 2-3 years, I think our universities has got into higher and higher ladder. So that I think we have to thank to the Erasmus and all this European Union for giving this opportunity for our universities. Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you. That's really interesting and really good insights, which I think have also brought our allotted time to a close. So I would once again thank our panelists and audience members for joining us today in this celebration of the Erasmus Days 2022. And the video recording of this little session will be available through project websites and so forth. So I thank you all for joining me and spending your Saturday morning, not at the shop, but in our good company. And I also would take this opportunity to wish you all the very best for your project success. And I hope to see you all in the near future in person. Thank you very much and goodbye. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much, Emlyn, and all